Does anybody here know who Frank Baum is? Oh, I'm so glad. Most of you probably don't, but you know a movie made of one of his books called The Wizard of Oz. And I heard a couple of our speakers actually mention things from The Wizard of Oz over the last 3 days. I think Alex said something about following the yellow brick road, and then I saw Denise with her ruby slippers. So I'm saying, okay, there may be a little symmetry here. Well, if you've not read the book, you don't have the backstory. So you don't know about the Tin Man and the Wicked Witch. First of all, do you know why the Tin Man was in the woods chopping and chopping and chopping and building a house? It was because he was in love with a lady, a little munchkin lady it's referred to in the book. He was in love, and he intended that house to be his wedding present to her. So they were engaged, and the Wicked Witch was flying over, as she does, and she saw this man with his axe constantly working after his full-time job, making this house, and he knew it was because of his deep devotion to the munchkin lady, his fiancée, and she hated it. So she set about to harden him and to make him stop chopping so that he would not finish the house for her, the house of love. Well, she hit his arm, still he continued. She hit his leg, still continued. Hit the other leg, still continued. Hit the other arm and was still able to kind of do something. And then the final blow was all of his joints, and you know that he said oil can, trying to communicate because that's the only thing he could move. But what you didn't realize, unless you read the book, was that he lost his heart during that. And when he lost his heart, the memory of his love of his life was gone. So he did not even know why he was standing in the woods. He did not know this. So without our hearts, we cannot find what we're meant to be. We can't find that which is beneficial to us, and we can't see the people that we want to help. So we certainly can't help anybody if we can't see them. In fact, usually we walk on to Michael Jackson's Man with a Mirror. There's a line in that song that's very germane to this. It's, "Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need?" Well, the Tin Man couldn't feel. So he knew that the brain and a home wasn't what he needed. He didn't even remember his home. And he knew that the Scarecrow wanted the brain and Dorothy wanted to go home, and he thought he would join them. But without the heart, everything else is meaningless. So seeing the movie was not getting the rest of the story, like Paul Harvey used to say. Now you know the rest of the story. Well, you had to read the book to get the whole story and truly understand the mission. The only way our story can be fully told is if our hearts are fully engaged. And it has to be in relationship. Our relationships with our children, relationships with our Youngevity family, and relationships with people in the world that need us. That's how our hearts get fully engaged. How did the Tin Man start to get his heart back? Does anyone know? Oz didn't do it. It was the random act of kindness of Dorothy and the Scarecrow. Two broken people in need themselves, and they help somebody else. God does not equip only the strong leaders. He equips, as Alex always says, the willing. So because of that, he got his heart back.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing example of teamwork and giving to a stranger in need, even while being broken ourselves. I just really think that we become champions when we work as a team. Because by ourselves, we can grow grateful and recognize that kindness begins with us, but it's not supercharged. It only becomes supercharged when we gather together as a team, like we did on Wednesday. So when we unite for a mission of goodwill, especially the mission that we did, when we're being in the trenches and helping each other along the way, we do find that we're healed too. But when we did this Wednesday alongside one of our charity families, My Story Matters, and Amy Chandler, we can be the change, and we were. And my heart is so moved by the love that we shared and the bond that's going to exist in our hearts. We were helping children, and I truly believe that you can defeat the enemy's attempts at footholds by helping the children. Because when a child feels hope, and when a child feels love, and when a child feels heard, that their story matters, they feel a sense of belonging. And if they have a sense of belonging in the community, it doesn't matter where their community is, if they feel that acceptance and that sense of belonging, they can't be vulnerable to the lies of the enemy, trying to tell them other ways. So I really believe that we were doing what we were supposed to do. And now there's no better legacy to leave for a child than that. And I thank God for Amy Chandler.
Yes.
And all of you who participated. We now have a bond of kindness that exists in our memories and our hearts. But I was thinking, there's a lot of y'all here that probably weren't with us. Would you like to see what we did? Can you roll the beautiful My Story Matters, Youngevity Be the Change Day footage? Scott?
Today, volunteers from the Youngevity Corporation have joined us from all over the world here in Salt Lake City for the first part of their convention to provide a day of service, Be the Change Day. And we've been going to a local high school this morning where we interviewed refugees and immigrants and homeless teenagers that are here in Salt Lake to find out what their story is.
I think it's important for Youngevity to make a connection with every community that we go into. I think the Be the Change Foundation that Dave Brisky and Sunshine Brisky brought to Youngevity has made such an impact in so many different lives.
When we formed the foundation, we always meant for community service to be a big part of what Youngevity Be the Change is. And right now we're getting to see that with so many of the kids that are here.
To hear them say, God, it was so cool that you care about what's going to happen to me, to be able to tell those stories to me was just really, really moving.
And this afternoon we're here at the homeless shelter, the family shelter here in Salt Lake City, where we're interviewing and photographing the children here and doing the same thing, trying to find out their story and take their beautiful pictures and combine them into a book.
The foundation has done so much good, and we're just really getting started. So we've helped people around the world with not only disaster relief, but even in community projects like this.
There is no greater legacy that you can give a child than hope in their heart, strength for the journey, and understanding of where they've been.
Once people have done this, they come back and do it again and again and again. And so I encourage and invite everybody to join us on the very next one. I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah. That's awesome. That was the first time we saw that, too. It still moves me to tears. Is Amy Chandler here? Amy, would you please stand up and receive our applause of gratitude?
There she is.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. We're so proud that you're with our foundation. So grateful. Yeah, make her stand again. Thank you, Amy. Love you. Okay, we're going to be doing something different, and we're going to be going into every community that we gather as a community, like a summit or a convention like today. So we're going to go everywhere that we go, and we're going to go into the community. We'll figure out what project we're going to do, but it will be a service project, and it will be for their benefit. And that is an outpouring of our Random Act of Kindness program. David Brick, are you here? Please stand. Thank you. Now, you're applauding David because every month you see a Random Act of Kindness post where we put others first. That's the man that creates them. So thank you, David.
Incredible volunteer. Thank you.
Okay, our next big gathering, I believe, is in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tracy Cox, please stand up. Okay. We have an event, a Youngevity event in New Zealand, and this lady right here, Tracy Cox, is going to be Amy Chandler for that mission. You'll be hearing more about that as we get closer to it.
Thank all of you. It was an incredible, incredible day. We've got a big agenda, so we're going to keep moving it along, and I'd like to bring Mike Glenn up if he is available. Is Mike Glenn
Wait,
available?
just a second.
Oh, what?
Do y'all know how to do this? That's how I want you to greet Mike Glenn. And then when you hear him speak, this is how I want you to appreciate
So
it.
everybody, Mike Glenn?
Mike Glenn, to the stage. Come on.
There he is.
Thank you.
Stand by you, buddy. Come on, step up here.
I'm glad you came.
Thank you very much. Yes.
The reason we called you up here is because most of y'all know that we have now brought in the Mike Glenn Foundation as a member of our family of charities. And in June, something really cool happened, and I thought you might want to hear about it from Mike.
Well, thank you all so much. Thanks for that welcome, too. You taught them how to say I love you. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
I like that. Thanks very much. Well, I'll just take a couple of minutes and tell you how I got involved with deaf culture and starting a basketball camp for deaf kids. Now, when I was a young fella, Sunshine, I guess I was about 7 years old, I got a chance to go to a practice with my dad. Now, my dad was the coach. He actually started the program at Georgia School for the Deaf. So Dad coached high school girls and boys who were deaf from the entire state of Georgia. They all came to one school. So on this one day, Dad would take me to practice with him. So I was just happy hanging out with my dad, walking into the gym, and then all of a sudden, all the girls on his team, they started running up to me, picking me up, mwah, and kissing me on the jaw. Now, you know when you're about 7 years old, you don't know how to appreciate those kisses like you will later on in your life. So I started to yell, "Dad, help me!" These girls are attacking me out here and they're not even saying anything. The dad thought that was so funny, and he just laughed, and then he explained to me, he said, "Mike, these girls are deaf." He says, "That means they can't hear or talk to you." He said, "But they want to be your friend. If you want to be their friend, you're going to need to learn some sign language." I looked at Dad and I thought about it, and I made a really destiny-deciding decision at that point. I decided I will learn some sign language. Now, the girls on Dad's team just adopted me into their culture. I still remember Dad had this one girl on his team. Her name was Mildred, and her last name was Nelson. Mildred was the best player on his team. Matter of fact, Mildred's the best player in the history of Georgia School for the Deaf. Mildred was a beautiful girl. She had smooth, dark, pretty skin. At that time, I thought she looked like a Hershey's bar. But Mildred started teaching me things, my ABCs. And she started teaching me basic signs like daddy and mommy and home and play and friend. She would even ask me certain sentences like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And you know how we guys say until you're at least 30, you go, "I don't know." She even taught me the correct way to say "I don't know." So, but you know what, Dave? I would go to the games and I would clap for Mildred. And Mildred was always knocking down those long shots, man. Mildred was my first hero. Mildred was just such a fantastic player. And I wanted to learn how to knock down those jump shots just like Mildred. And I remember one game, Dad let me go to a road game, and I got a chance to sit. And you know who I sat beside? Mildred. I was sitting, this little kid, my feet wouldn't even reach the floor, but I was sitting beside my hero, my beautiful hero, man. I was the happiest little boy on the planet. You know, I was just sitting there beside Mildred, you know? And so it was such a wonderful thing for me, and developed many other relationships. And in high school, I always went to camps and special places like that. And I would ask my deaf friends if they had gone, and they would say, no, we can't go to a camp. We can't communicate. And I put it in the back of my mind that one day I would start a basketball camp just for my deaf kids so they could go. And so thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I went on to become the #1 rated basketball player in the state of Georgia and an All-American, and go on to the NBA and play 10 years. And while with the New York Knicks, I got an opportunity to start the nation's first basketball camp, major summer basketball camp for deaf kids. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So this free camp was always a challenge to find the funding, to find the support, to keep it going year after year after year. And I got a chance to meet Dr. Wallach and all these beautiful people like yourselves, and to get some help and some support. And then I met Sunshine and Dave. And I met somebody who could really pick me up. And Youngevity's Be the Change Foundation was so instrumental in this, the 37th year of my camp this summer. Yes, yes, yes.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Let's show the film.
Okay.
Do y'all want to see the film of June that you all had a part in because you bought the products that supported Mike Glenn's foundation?
You're all philanthropists.
Yeah.
And look what you did.
Let's roll that footage.
Keep hustling and get those rebounds inside. If you open, shoot it. We'll accept that. Right. People like myself come in as a former NBA player, and we share our experience, our dedication, our knowledge, what it takes to go to the next level. We have a lot of coaches at Schools for the Deaf to come share their expertise, to improve their skills, their self-esteem. Don't try to block the shot from behind.
He's hopes that children, would look up to him, because he's teaching them. And in the future, they become successful in life, not in just basketball.
When I got here, I learned about sportsmanship, and it doesn't matter whether we win or lose. The coaches always make sure that they encourage us to have a positive attitude.
Be the Change Foundation, we all come together, we teach nutrition, we have the rebound going all week long, and some other Youngevity products as well.
The Youngevity products have been really amazing in helping these kids. I explained to them exactly what it does for them and how it's going to help them. The Be the Change Foundation has been really helpful in getting the word out for the camp to help support and provide better service and facilities here for the kids.
So their support, financial support, their spiritual support has been very key. It allows us to expand what we're doing and include more deaf campers. We really have many, many thanks to Be the Change Foundation.
That's awesome.
Mike Glenn.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
A hero.
Love you.
A Youngevity hero, Mike
Love
Glenn.
you.
And you guys, all of you, made it happen.
Oh, that's so good.
Thank you so
Thanks, Mike.
much, Be the Change Foundation. Thank you, Youngevity. Y'all meant so much to me and my kids who come from all over the country. We had kids that drove all the way down from Wisconsin to Georgia, from Michigan, all across the country. And thank you so much for all the love, support, and the nutrition. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was You're up.
Oh, wow. So listen, there's so much to go over, and things have run pretty long. Since the Be the Change Foundation inception, we have done so much. I mean, thanks to your support. Thank you for buying the products. Thank you for buying the designated Be the Change products. Thank you for buying the coffee. We did so much. The financial aid we provided just from April was Japan, Ecuador earthquakes. We helped them. You helped them. We helped Canada, Texas, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Louisiana, fire, severe flooding, and one of the big projects that we've done. We talked about this in the beginning. Everyone knows we own a little coffee plantation out in Nicaragua, right?
1,000 acres, not so little.
Okay, that coffee plantation is incredible. And what we were able to do in that coffee plantation, and you know, is we opened a school, right? You knew that. And from the school, we told you we would get the coffee certified fair trade. And because of that fair trade certification and your support, I don't know if it's up on the screen, but we were able to build the most incredible housing right in the middle of the rainforest. If you pay attention to the right-hand corner of the screen, and I know this will bring tears to Steve's eyes as well as sunshine, in the right-hand corner, right before we tore it down, was the housing that existed on our plantation.
180 workers and their families lived in that.
And now, this is what they live in. It's 3 stories. It's from your support.
And they actually built it.
They have running water, bathrooms. It's so state-of-the-art, it's actually unbelievable that this exists. You come back into the rainforest, you arrive there, and you're going, what the? You can't believe it's there. And we said we were going to do incredible things with that plantation. You would not believe what's coming, not just for coffee, but for Youngevity. What we're doing with the minerals down there, the research we're doing on essential oils down there, what we're doing with other products is going to be life-changing for all of you. But thank you for your support. We couldn't do it without you.
Okay. We have a couple of surprises for you. The first one I'm going to not say a word about. I'm just going to ask that that film be played now, please.
Hi, Youngevity. This is Patch Adams, and wow, thank you for your generosity for our work. I'm so grateful. I'm sorry I couldn't be there to play with you. For those that aren't aware of our work, 45 plus years ago, I set out to create a hospital addressing all the problems of healthcare delivery in a single model. Health bills are the #1 cause for this country's families to lose their home. This is wrong. And one nice thing about failing all these years is we've been able to do so many other things. So 35 years ago, I started our clown trips. This year, I'll do 8. I just got back from our 11th consecutive year in the Peruvian Amazon, and we now have 4 women living there from 4 countries, and a doctor, psychologist, and 2 artists. And we're going to see what happens. Of course, any of you are welcome on these trips. patchadams.org will let you know. So I think what we'll spend it on is 2 of our projects. One, we started in March, the idea of building a school for the poorest children of Guatemala. And this will be a big help. Also, most of it will go to this project in the Amazon. So thank you so much. My address is on patchadams.org. Feel free to write me. I like Oldgevity because at 71, I think I feel 35. Much love to you all. Have fun. Come play with me.
How awesome is that? So you may know that Patch Adams was a movie. It was played by Robin Williams, so that's the actual Patch Adams. But I bet you didn't know he's a Youngevity distributor.
Yeah, you got to support that.
He believes in all aspects of healing, including those that we believe in. And I just think it's wonderful, and I can't wait to maybe go on a clown trip with him, and y'all come too. So, may I ask a very personal question? And it means a lot to us. And if you don't want to do it, I understand. But would everybody who has served in our military, or our fire departments, or our police departments, or our EMS departments stand? Wow. Wow. That's so awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your service. You know, it was really hard in early spring when we had to withdraw our support to the Wounded Warrior Project, and it broke our hearts. We did not want to do that. We knew that they needed us. And then we set out looking for other military foundations that would satisfy our high standards. And we feel like we have a fiduciary responsibility to the money that you make possible through your purchases. So we went high and low searching, and we ended up with a really cool one that encompasses also the fire departments, the police departments, and the EMS first responders. And I think you're really going to like this. Can you roll that footage, please?
Less than 2% of America's population volunteers to defend our nation. Though we rarely see them, we live the benefits of these heroes' sacrifices in the freedom we know and the safety we feel. Each and every day, the Gary Sinise Foundation serves our nation by honoring our defenders, veterans, first responders, and their families. We do this by creating and supporting unique programs designed to entertain, educate, inspire, strengthen, and build communities. The Gary Sinise Foundation has grown because the need has never been greater. Together, we'll improve the lives of thousands of American heroes and their families day in, day out, all year long. While we can never do enough to show our gratitude to our nation's defenders, our veterans, our first responders, and the families who stand by them, we can always do a little more. Join us. Visit GarySiniseFoundation.org.
And we went to the concert too. That's right.
Listen,
that's right, Lieutenant Dan, right?
Lieutenant Dan, Forrest Gump, Gary Sinise. We are so excited about this relationship. I mean, I give hat is off to Sunshine. We can build so many events around this. We have been to Flag Day in Coronado and hear Gary Sinise Band.
Last year.
80s cover, music's crazy, and I believe we can take, as he moves his around, we can get the Youngevity Nation to go and do service around that to support our military and support our first responders. It's going to be really, really fun, all right?
One of the cool things he does is he sets up camps outside of naval hospitals like Bethesda and other hospitals where they have transferred from the hospital into rehab, and he does this carnival for the family of them in recognition of the transition and also just to give back.
And he transforms their homes when they lose their limbs and they need wheelchairs so they can get back in and get around. Incredible foundation, incredible to support it. And because of the growth of Youngevity, because we rank up so many people, because more people are buying our products, we can reach out to more. It is so exciting. Thank you so much. One big thing, Temecula 5K run, Gary Sinise Foundation in California. We're going to do it, and we're going to invite our Youngevity family to do it, and we're going to give you more information about that.
Here's the coolest part of it. The title, Run, Forrest, Run.
Absolutely.
How cool is that?
Youngevity be the change. Thank you.